One of the things that I spent a bit of time on recently was when I reviewed a lot of the par-times. I found that the outer country tracks and the low grade tracks, I tightened them up considerably. Then we were seeing horses come in from, I don't know, picnic meetings and things like that, running at the provincials or the country. You don't see it much in the city, very rare, but it sort of was a flow-on effect down. So I went back and I went through the low-grade track penalties, and I found that I was being a little bit too generous with some of these tracks, and they were featuring in the par times because they were running quick time, but they're basically shit tracks in the middle of nowhere. Queensland, most of the states have got them. So what I did is I went through, and as you can see now, I mean, some of these tracks have been given massive penalties. So basically what happens now is if the horse runs time, that's fair enough. If it runs a quick time against par for that track, that's fine. But when the track penalty is applied, even if it's run quick time, if it's run at, I don't know, Balranald, for example, it'll come in to perhaps run at Stony Creek or Bendigo or somewhere like that. You'll find that it'll feature up into the field strengths because it's probably carried a big weight and run good time. That's now going to be tempered by the track penalty, so it's going to give us a more accurate assessment of these horses. You'll find that if this horse still features in the top 4 or 5, then it deserves to be there because it's been lumped with a pretty big penalty for running quick time on a mediocre track, and it carries on going into running them at Stony Creek and coming into the city midweek, for example. Same sort of thing applies. So it's sort of a revamp right through all the tracks. As you can see, there's 1,255 of them Australia-wide that are in the database. The city tracks, no penalties, obviously, but once they leave the city area, even if they've gone to Hawkesbury, for example, or if they go to Ballarat, that's okay. But if they come back from Ballarat into the city, well, there might be a couple of kilos against them. So, well, as you can see in this example here, Bairnsdale, for example, 3 kilos now. There used to be a 0. So anything that's running at Bairnsdale will have a small penalty applied to it, going to whatever track it's going to next. So we've got a more accurate assessment. But as I say, if something runs quick time, it doesn't really matter where it runs it. It's running against par for that track. So that is still very relevant. But now we're tempering that, perhaps that overinflated rating by whacking it with a penalty for the quality of where it ran it. And it's giving us a far more accurate picture. So I'm a lot happier with that setup now.